welcome to Night Callers Bigfoot Radio. It is January 8th, 2020, and you are here with your hosts, Lauren Smith and Dustin Clark. How are you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing pretty good. It was a long day dealing with heat and air people, but it's all settled, and now I'm ready to have an awesome show tonight.
Me too.
How are you, Lauren?
Fantastic. Weather's great. Beautiful outside, you know.
Thanks for the weather update.
You're welcome. I feel like it's just not the same without it, so. Anyway, so anything Bigfoot related in your world?
Yes. Actually, I don't know if we want to go ahead and talk about it at the top of the show or at the end of the show, but we can just start now.
We'll go ahead and get it out of the way because I know Larry and Mark, you know, they just, once you get those two going, they just, you know, you can't get them to be quiet, so. I'm just kidding.
Well,
okay, go ahead.
Pitter patter. On February 29th, we will be down in Fouke, Arkansas at Smith Park, and we'll be down there with Keith Crabtree, and we're basically doing a Bigfooters campout. We're doing it to raise money to help fix up Smith Park because it's kind of fallen to the wayside on getting help from the state. So it's free to camp there. We're just asking all the Bigfoot people that come to donate just what they can. We'll also be doing a raffle. There'll be different things in the raffle. I saw that Randy Edwards, he's going to be donating a sling bow, which is a slingshot you can shoot arrows with, which is awesome. And I don't know what I'm donating to the raffle yet, but it'll obviously be one of my leatherwork pieces. And we're just going to go hang out, have fun. We'll have Wild Blackburn there, a bunch of other people, and, of course, Keith Crabtree, the monster from Legend of Boggy Creek, the Fouke monster. So
we'll also have She Squatch there, Jeff Crypto Hulk Stewart. I believe the Sisters of the Moon are going to try to put an appearance in. And so we're going to have a lot of great folks there, a lot of different groups coming together and supporting this park for future campers and future researchers, because I don't know about y'all, but I think a lot of people stay there when they go to Fouke. So we want it to be a good, clean park. We want it to be have good amenities. I can't say that word right now. We want it to have good facilities. Yeah, that word. I can't. It's like an enemy. Oh, I can say it right now. Look at that. Anyway, so we want the park to be nice and hospitable for everyone that's wanting to camp there. So we hope you all can join us. We'll remind you about 1,000 more times before the event. You go to our Facebook, our Night Callers page. You can find the event, and you can check out more about it. We're going to have different events. During that, we're going to have a movie night, all kinds of different things. We're actually going to do a night research, and She Squatch is going to be there, and she said that if there were some kids that show up, she was going to play hide and seek in the woods with the kids, so let them see a Bigfoot. So that's pretty exciting. I told her I was very excited, and if no kids show up, I will gladly play hide and seek in the woods with her. So I'm pretty excited. I hope no kids show up so that I can play. So anyways, so tonight we have Larry Porch II and Mark Newbill. These guys have been friends of mine for a while now. Absolutely love chatting with them anytime we can. They're part of quite a few different groups, but they have B.E.A.S.T TV on YouTube. It's a great show. They're on weekly, and they have fantastic guests on there. I'm not just saying that because I've been on a couple times. Other people are great too. And but they focus a lot on getting out in the field, how to do different research, how to set up your camp in different ways, how to get out there and get out in the primitive areas rather than the campgrounds, and really get out there and research, immerse yourself in the nature to get that good data. So they're full of great tips. Their guests are full of great tips, and they also have really great educational videos on and resources on audio, because, you know, that's all of us love to go out and record the audio, but getting it back home and listening to all of it, figuring out what to do with it, you know, that's the hard part. So anyway, so tonight we're going to hear from them on all the things I just mentioned. How are you doing tonight, guys?
Doing fantastic. How about you?
Well, just
doing good.
Finer than frog hair. I'm glad to have you guys on. What have you guys been up to?
Well, last weekend we went to Land Between the Lakes, LBL, and did looked at a spot that Larry and Debbie Jones had done a little reconnaissance on, and it looked really good on the topo maps. So they went and checked it out, and it's a pretty cool place, and I have a feeling that Larry and I will be going back there.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. I know that y'all have been camping out under a tarp on the ground. How's that been going for you? Y'all get a lot of restful, peace. Well, Mark, I know you could sleep literally anywhere. Like, you could sleep in the middle of a war zone and you would be completely fine. Larry, have you been getting a lot of rest when you're out there?
No, not really. I get my rest from about 4 a.m. till about 8 a.m. And that's when Mark gets up and tends the fire and everything.
Uh-huh.
But we've been roughing it pretty much, but it's been
y'all
an adventure.
Yeah, y'all have. Y'all been really getting out there and getting primitive, and I know that's what y'all do anyway, but so for y'all that don't know, y'all should go follow them on Facebook, because they do live videos while they're out there in the midst of it, and it's really great entertainment, actually, and they keep making these comments like, God, y'all must be real bored watching us all night. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm living vicariously right now. I have little ones, and so I can't get out as much as I would like to. I'd be out all the time, and so you guys are out, and I'm like, yes, live video. It's like my crack, honestly.
Well, it's fun to go live and do that in those locations, and normally we don't have signal, but this year they must have added a tower somewhere on the east side of LBL, so we've been able to connect anyway. It's too bad we haven't had enough activity to make you want to watch.
Well, I mean, just y'all being out there is enough, because y'all talk about, what kind of shelter you put up, and, you got Mark and his mini layers and all that.
Mark, he really researches these shelters and stuff. We've got a friend that's been on our show, and he builds a different shelter about every time he goes out. His channel's Fun in the Woods, and we get a lot of ideas from him and try to go out and do these things. He's a whole lot better at it than we are, but we suffer through it.
Yeah.
It is.
No,
nice
you guys, y'all do great.
It is nice to be able to have a fire on the inside of your tent, because, when it's below freezing, it's really cold out there, and then if any wind starts up, you could be miserable really quick. But if you've got a fire that's just 2 feet away from you, and you're able to sleep through the night with a fire going, it's a whole lot more bearable.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know. I don't remember. I think Spencer Jameson had posted a different rock fire that he had built the other day, and he wanted y'all to try out next time, to where you dig the hole and put the rocks over it, and then have a little breather hole for the smoke to go out the back.
Yeah, that's a Dakota fire pit, and I have done a prototype in my backyard a couple of years ago, and it's a cool fire pit, but I guess our only setback with it is Larry would have to tote a shovel on his backpack, and I don't think he has any more room on his backpack to tote a shovel to dig the tree.
Well, probably just tied on. I probably wouldn't notice.
Larry, I have not been hiking with you yet, but when I picture it, I picture you looking like Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, just clanking through the woods with all your pots and pans.
It's pretty accurate. I just can't leave anything at home. I think, well, I may use that, so I'll put that in there.
I think I'm the same way, and my husband's forever trying to shave weight down. So he hikes, Superior Hiking Trail, and he goes and hikes all these other trails, and he's just like, I'll put like a pack of makeup remover wipes or something in there. He's like, do you really need those? You could use these, and you could shave 13 ounces off of your weight. And I'm like, oh my Lord. I mean, I know he's doing it to save my back, but I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not that type of person that's going to weigh ounces and think about it. I don't know. I know people that way, and I understand the thought behind it, but I like to be comfortable when I'm out there and not suffer as much. Well, never mind that. We do suffer. But I try to make it as easy on myself as possible.
Yeah. So you guys have been out. Y'all had any good encounters recently?
Larry,
go ahead, Mark.
Talk a little bit about what you and Rodney saw.
Well, I don't know what I saw, but I saw what could have been eye shine the other night. I was laying there probably about 2 a.m, and with that open tarp, you can look out all you want to. And I could see something that appeared to be moving and appeared to be eye shine, but I'm not 100% sure it was eye shine. And I watched it, and I don't know, after 10 minutes, I didn't see it anymore. And since I was up about 4 or 4:30, I saw it again, and this time it seemed to be moving again, and this time our buddy Rodney, he was up, and I asked him if he was seeing it, and he also saw it and thought it was moving. So we never did know for sure if it was eye shine. It was at a distance away from us. We had a fairly big ridge, probably 200 yards from us, and it could have been coming down that ridge. I don't know, but it seemed to only get so close, and then it would either turn around and go away, or it would get in a position it could watch us without us seeing the eye shine. I don't know, but really that's the best activity we probably had out of the last 2 trips. I know we heard some things, but nothing that we can say 100% was anything. And I don't know what Mark remembers out of the last 2 trips, but that's the most significant thing in my mind at this point is just possible eye shine.
Well,
I know.
I really enjoyed the trip that when we rode up there a couple of weeks ago with Dan Rickey and Vicki Fulcher and Shelley Reed, and we went to the spot where the Feast of LBL supposedly killing happened, and that was pretty exciting to go up there. We were having vocalizations going on around us, which I believe most of them was a fox, but we did hear something else that didn't quite sound canine. But it was fun to go up there in the middle of the night and just tromp around in the woods. And we had Dan Rickey, Larry, and I had walked 200 or 300 yards away down a trail, and then we shot off in the woods, and we're going to come back up through the woods where the pillboxes were, and Dan Rickey starts making calls. Larry and I was just sitting there thinking, he's using us for bait. Dan Rickey is actually using us for bait.
Well, that sounds about like Dan, so.
Yeah, and then I looked at Mark and smiled. I smiled and said, but I've got the keys in my pocket.
Oh, no. Oh, that's good. I bet Dan realized that, too, and he was like, gosh.
Probably. But we always have fun going out with Dan and Vicki, and Shelley's usually with us. We have a blast. Dan's a character.
He is. That's a bunch of good people right there, all of them. I know Shelley, she has one of the best female calls I've ever heard. I just love it. And it gets responses. Yep. So I think we usually ask the general question, how did y'all get into this? And I don't think we asked that this time because, we just jumped right in. But for anyone who hasn't heard the other show that y'all were on for us, if y'all wanted to talk real quick about how each of you got into this, and I would like to know, along with that, what you started out thinking about Bigfoot to where you are now, and what you think they are, and how have your thoughts about them changed since you started to now? Larry, you first. Go.
Well, how I got into it was I saw a trackway whenever I was younger. And as I got older and saw some of the shows, the patty footage, all that, the bell went off in my head, hey, that may have been a trackway of a Bigfoot. So from there, it basically went on a back burner for years while I raised my family and worked like a dog and all that. And I finally got to a point that my curiosity from looking on the internet and seeing videos and this and that, and then actually hearing on Outlaw Radio that there may possibly be some in my area in the southeast here. So I decided to do something and go out. I joined a little local Bigfoot thing here in Tennessee, and that's where I met Mark. And we started going to LBL and started seeing signs and things and possible tracks here and there and hearing vocalizations. And that's basically how I got started into it. I don't know if you want me to continue on or let Mark tell how he got started in it.
Mark, tell how you got started, and then we can discuss the other part.
I guess as a kid, I was always fascinated by Bigfoot and UFOs and the Loch Ness Monster and all of that. It's something that just really struck me, and I was always curious about it. And kind of like Larry, you go through things in life, and it kind of gets put on the back burner, and then here comes the internet. And so, and actually, Night Callers is the first podcast that I ever listened to. And I just happened to type it in, and that was the first one I hit play on. And I've been stuck on Night Callers ever since. And so I was looking to find some kind of group or an individual to go out with, and I had absolutely no luck. I mean, you see so many things on the internet, and it's like the BFRO wants to charge you $500 to come out there and bring your own lunch and sit around and eat with them. And that's not what I wanted to do. In my career, I was an analyst and in the chemistry field, and so I was looking to find somebody that I could mesh with that kind of looked at it as a flesh and blood animal, and to actually go out and search for these creatures. So Shelley Reed had came across an article of where the Arkansas Bigfoot Conference was going to be held. And so I went to that and was able to meet different groups and joined the MABRC and kind of started from there. Learned a lot of good protocols from the MABRC. And then maybe about a year later is when I met Larry. And me and Larry just hooked up, and we meshed really well, and we've been going out ever since.
Well, we didn't hook up.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it.
Let's get that straight. We made research together, but we didn't hook up.
Oh, Lord. I knew it. I knew you were going to do it.
That's why they call you Dirty Larry.
Oh. No, that makes sense.
Oh, mercy. And your chemical analysis is why they call you Heisenberg.
Oh, my God. You guys.
Welcome to Night Callers.
Here. Yeah. Welcome, guys.
Hey, let's get back to Bigfoot.
Oh, shall we? Shall we? Thanks. So, when y'all started, obviously you think it's a creature out in the woods. What did y'all think it was when you first started versus now? Now that you've been out, you've researched, you've heard vocals, you've seen evidence, you've seen how intelligent these things are. How do you feel about them now versus what you thought about them when you started? Like, did you think they were some
Mark.
dumb animal?
Well, as far as the broad umbrella of what this creature is, I still believe that it is a flesh and blood animal. But one thing that I say, and I've heard a lot of people say, the more I learn about this creature, the more I realize I don't know. And this creature is a whole lot more intelligent than what I believe at the time when I first got started in this. Some of the things that we have seen in the field just blows my mind. Some of the things that I've heard, both vocalizations, as far as all animals will communicate with themselves, but this is a higher level of communication. This is almost like a language, and that whenever we have captured audio and heard them talking to each other. And so to me, I wouldn't have felt like at the time when I first got started that they communicated with each other, but that there was just like certain vocalizations that mean something. Like foxes have over 200 vocalizations, and each vocalization means something, and the other fox knows what it means. But some of the audio that I have heard is the audio that Mike Hartzell captured and the audio that Baby Jones captured. You know, that's a language. They are actually speaking to one another and answering one another. And so that's kind of where I'm at now, is these animals are more intelligent than what I had any clue they were whenever I first got started in this.
Yep. Larry?
Well, when I got started, I thought, you know, from the general shows you watch in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even now on Discovery Channel or whatever, they're always going to talk about Gigantopithecus or something like that, and that's what a lot of the mainstream, a lot of people still think that, and in the beginning, I guess that's what I thought, but I've always been a hunter, and I know most animals you're going to be able to pattern them between their bedding areas, their feeding areas, and where they water, and they're fairly predictable. And this creature or being is not. And I don't think at this point that it's any kind of unknown species of a ape, personally. There's more to it. I don't totally understand what it is, but that don't answer your question, but I don't know what it is. But I don't think it's an unknown species of ape.
You don't know exactly what it is? I'm just disappointed, honestly.
No,
that's just ridiculous.
Don't.
What are you doing out there? What are you doing out in the woods?
I'm writing a book about it, so I can discuss it in my book.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a great answer.
Yeah, you know that's right.
So, but you do think, I mean, flesh and blood. It's flesh and blood. It's intelligent.
Yes, yeah. No doubt about it. It's flesh and blood, and at this point, I don't think it goes through portals or any of that. But who knows? Next weekend, I may see one come out of a giant oak tree. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to say yay, nay, or not until I absolutely know for sure what I'm saying, and that's why I go to the woods trying to figure it out.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good way to be. It's a good way to be, is to be open-minded about it. Look for definitive evidence, but at the same time, kind of keep an open mind, just, so you can learn something and see what you can see, because if you're closed off to it, you're not going to learn nothing. You're going to miss things.
That's absolutely true. And no matter what direction you come from in this subject, there's things we can learn from each other. no matter what, because there's things that no matter what type of research you do, there's something you learn while you're out there doing this that may be a piece of the puzzle that may solve it all one day.
Absolutely. And Dustin, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to go with one of my favorites that I always everybody is what is some of the scariest or sketchiest situations y'all have been in while being out in the woods looking for them?
Well, me and Larry is maybe different from other people, and I could say this about Lauren too. We don't, when activity starts ramping up, we don't get excited. And Larry and I are both adrenaline junkies. So when things
I think we all are.
So when things start getting thrown at us and vocalizations and you know that they are watching you and trying to get you to react, that I've said it before, and it is so true. Me and Larry would just look at each other and start grinning and cracking jokes. And because I don't know, I mean, if they're gonna come in there and just slaughter you, I don't even think that they would go to the trouble to do that. You would never see it coming. And so we just that's what we thrive for, is that adrenaline rush whenever we're having possible Bigfoot activity going on around us.
Yep. It's the best feeling.
I agree. Probably. I was going to say probably one of the most intense things that's happened while Mark and I have been out is whenever the one, or possible one, walked up on me in the hammock in Oklahoma. I mean, it was pitch black, and I got woke up by a smell and froze and could hear something walking off bipedally away from me, and I tried to get my FLIR up to see what it was, but I couldn't turn in the hammock. It went away from the head end of my hammock, and I couldn't ever turn to get it in the FLIR, so I just held the FLIR up and panned, hoping I caught something. And, of course, I didn't, but we got the audio of it. It sat outside the camp for probably 10 minutes or more, throwing stuff into the camp to see if we were going to get up and if we'd turn on a light, and you could hear it easing in closer, and before I ever woke up. And that didn't bother me that night, because after it left, I went back to sleep and woke up later whenever I don't know if it was a raccoon or what come through camp, but I did see it on the FLIR. But probably a week or two later, I actually thought about what really had happened, and I was like, holy crap. I had one within feet of me, possibly, and there was nothing that I could have done if it would have grabbed me up in that hammock and took off or whatever. But that kind of made me think a little bit after the fact. But while I was in the moment, it didn't register at all that I should be scared or worried about what was going to happen. I was just trying to see the thing to find out what it was.
I'll tell you,
Two fun facts. Oh, wow, we're all excited. 2 fun facts about that story. One that Larry left out that is like my favorite part of the story. So, Larry, what are you doing with your life? Is that he was sick during that. He was sick during that trip, and he was being a heavy mouth breather during that trip, and so when it first walked up and he smelled it, he thought it was his breath. Which is my favorite part of that story.
I had been camping for 2 or 3 days, so I thought I got a whiff of my breath, and I was like, ooh. And it wasn't my breath, thank goodness.
Yeah. He said it wasn't his breath, and that's how he knew, oh, crap, there's something here. Second fun part of that story is the location they were at is where I'm going to be doing my solo camp next week. So hopefully I get a visit, too. We'll see. I'll let y'all know.
Are you going to that same exact spot?
Same exact spot. Y'all
that
inspired
I was
me. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I'm interested to hear how that goes.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm a little bit nervous, but like I was telling everyone, like I'm not so much nervous for the squatch part. I'm more nervous for the I have this like, natural fear of not even hogs, because most of the time you can hear them coming. I'm scared a mountain lion's gonna just decide I'm a fluffy little burrito in my hammock and eat me up. So that's what I'm nervous about. Death from above. That makes me a little nervous in the woods. The rest of it I can handle. Bigfoot, hogs, do what I need to do. But death from above, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I understand. That's one of my greatest fears is the mountain lion or a grizzly bear. I don't like the thought of either one of those.
No, not a fan. Being eaten alive is not one of my top 10 ways to go out. So I'm still going to go put myself in that situation. I'm just going to hope that it doesn't happen. So, but yeah, that's always a really good story. You guys tell, and I thought about it recently. I'd already decided to go to that spot and do a solo, and then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, hell, that's the same place that Larry and Mark had one walk up on their hammock. And guess what? I'm going to be hammock camping because, that adrenaline junkie. You can't just go out there and, do it normal. No, I got to do all the things. Anyway, I'll let you know how it goes.
Mark's got a good story about us getting bluff charged.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Well,
now, was this the time that Mark and I got bluff charged by the bunny armadillo hybrid?
No.
Okay, tell us about it. Tell us about yours.
This was down in Georgia, and there was a group of us, and we were we had Cheryl Corntassel. He was familiar with the area and had studied the topo maps. We went out and started picking out these places for us to go. And one of the places was on a bridge. And what is maybe something that is red flags to researchers is almost there was like houses or cabins, but they were really far apart. Maybe every quarter of a mile you might see one, but every one of them had for sale signs in the front yard. And that's just kind of a red flag to me. Is like, why are these people, got these little cabins or whatever, and all of a sudden they don't want them no more. And Bear had made a call, and I think it was his third call that we got a response, and it was just a screaming banshee type sound, like of alert. And you could tell this thing was moving. And then we started hearing other noises. And Shelley is usually our audio person in the field, where she has headphones or earbuds in a recorder, and it enhances her hearing about 10 times. And she tapped me on the shoulder, and she says, there's something bipedal right underneath us on this bridge moving around. And right after that, there was something that was being tossed and thrown through the trees at us on that bridge, and you could actually hear it going through the leaves, of the trees. And so we felt like we had something that was pinned up, that it really didn't have an exit spot. And then this other vocalization that sounded like a wild banshee, it was getting closer. So I took the FLIR and I walked about 100 yards down this little gravel road where the road bent, and thought if whatever this is going to cross the road, it's going to cross where it's not going to be in direct eyesight of us. And so I just walked down this dark road and got off in the side of the ditch in a bunch of grass and just laid there with the FLIR running. And I heard all this commotion going on the bridge. So after a few minutes, I got up and walked back, and Larry could tell a little bit about, because he was actually standing on the bridge, about getting bluff charged.
Well, I was actually down on the other end of the bridge watching you to make sure you didn't get killed. But all I can remember is everybody saying, he's coming down the hill, he's coming down the hill. And that's whenever Bear took a Dr. Pepper bottle or something and whapped it on his hand and made a vocalization that is supposed to mean no or something like that. We don't know exactly what vocalizations mean, but he's heard it in the past, what he thinks is one correcting a younger one or something, and he used that and it stopped. But you could hear the thing milling around before it ever did that bluff charge, and it didn't care that it was snapping limbs or anything, but that mountain laurel on that hillside was so thick you couldn't see it with a FLIR or anything. But it was pretty intense there for a minute. A lot of people were really expecting this thing to come jumping up on that bridge that we were standing on, but it got stopped, and it was a weird. That's probably one of the overall weirdest situations I've been in out in the field with all that happening.
Did y'all think it was a younger one, like not a juvenile, but like a young buck, and that's why that stopped him? Maybe. I
really think we had the juvenile separated from the other group, and I think it was either one of the females or one of the alpha males coming there to run us off so he could get back to them without any problem.
Gotcha. Distraction. It's all about the distraction.
Yep. Pretty much.
You know me, I'm a firm believer in the distraction.
They're pretty good at doing that.
They are. They are. Have y'all been in any other hairy situations that kind of made you want to jump back in the car, or run into or a situation that got you excited, made you want to run in the woods after it?
Well, normally we're already out in the woods when it happens nowadays.
Well,
but
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Run into the brush after it. How about that? Come on, Larry. Read my mind.
probably one of the best overall trips we've had whenever Eric and Kane invited us up to the area in Ohio. And they had done probably a year and a half's worth of work on scouting and figuring out things, and asked us to come up and camp. And as we went into this area, we had to walk in maybe an hour to an hour and a half, maybe two. I don't remember because I was suffering so much. But as we were going in, we were having trees getting pushed down. You could hear limbs cracking. They were agitated that we were coming into this area, and I have to believe it's probably because they were, used to Kane and Eric coming in there, and now they're dragging other people in there with them. So they were pretty agitated from the beginning, and as we got to where we were setting up camp, they were doing whoops and stuff during broad daylight. It was, Mark, what do you think?
It was one of my favorite trips because, as in this place and other places that we go, we're outside of cell phone service. There's no running back to the truck because you're too far away. I mean, you would never make it, and that's a part of the adrenaline rush. Is once you insert yourself into an area that you are so far out in the wilderness that there's no going back. There's it could be hair raising at times, but and we're all kind of wired the same way, and it gets us our adrenaline flowing, and that's what we want. I know when we go to the Appalachians, we were going to pack out that mid-morning, and all of a sudden activity started ramping up and started having things thrown at us, and huge trees being broke around us. And I just kept thinking, man, if we could just stay another 24 hours, they would just be sick of us and more likely to come in closer that we could capture them on a FLIR, But that's kind of what my goal is to get one that gets fed up enough with us and gets tired of us and wants to come in there and run us off.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. I'm getting all excited just like you talking about it.
Well, you're going to get to see.
I know. I can't wait. That's why I'm so excited. I'm over here like giddy because, man, I'm down. I want to go out and, get almost eaten and get my Squatch badge. Let's do this. I'm pretty sure I've already earned my Squatch badge, but, this is like a black belt Squatch badge. So I'm pretty excited to go do that. Yep. I'm stoked. I am down.
So y'all go to...
Go ahead, Dustin.
So y'all go to several different states and go and on outings looking for them. Have you noticed any kind of difference between, say, if you went to Oklahoma and then went up to Ohio? Have you noticed any difference in, types of activity?
Actually, I see more common denominators than I see things that are not common denominators. Now, one thing that I might say is it seems like maybe different troops that are in different areas, whenever they mimic things, they will mimic different animal sounds. Like you may have a troop in Oklahoma that mimics bar owls, but yet you may have a troop in Arkansas, and they do a totally different animal mimic. And that's kind of what I see, but I see more common denominators than anything.
Oh, my mic cut out, I think.
That got loud. So, how many states have you guys each been to research Bigfoot?
I believe that I have been to 12 different states.
Yeah.
As far as east, I think I would say Georgia, and as far as west, Brenda Harvey Harris invited me out to New Mexico, and that was a place when I'm sitting in a rocking chair and too old to do anything, that I will always remember that trip with staying on the Navajo reservation. That was just, it was totally awesome.
Well, I've had the same number, minus one. I didn't make it to New Mexico.
That's crazy.
Me and Larry and I is going to be adding another state this spring to Florida. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, we will be down in the Everglades.
Oh, man. You guys going to go get that skunk ape?
Yeah. Carrie Arnold from Bigfoot Odyssey approached us to go down there with this expedition that he's putting together, and he really hasn't been into the research part of it very long. He actually got into this because of a sighting he had in southern Mississippi. And his sighting is my favorite sighting that I've ever heard, because it was more than just a 3 or 4 second glimpse of one. This was one that actually interacted with him and got aggressive with him. But this Bigfoot Odyssey expedition, it's going to be really cool. He's renting like a $50,000 FLIR, and they're going to put it up on a drone. And so, and there's going to be 2 teams, I think, 5 or 6 people on each team, and we're going to go out in shifts, and we're going to cover this area for 7 days, 24 hours a day. But
awesome.
To me, the idea of sending a drone up with a FLIR on it to see if you get any hits, and that will tell the team which direction to move. And all of the team will have radios with earpieces that we can communicate with each other, that hopefully we can outflank anything that we might see and be able to get some video footage. Everybody will have cameras on them. It's just a really a good idea to go about an expedition. And so I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I can't wait to hear more after, I guess. That's awesome. And so
I'm
worried about the
springtime.
Yes, it'll be the springtime when we do this.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear more about that. I hope y'all have some real good luck out there. That sounds like a really good time.
I'm just really excited about getting my hands on some of this equipment that I've never been able to use, like, you know, a really good FLIR and things like that. It's just he's got a GoFundMe page. I think he's got about half the money raised. He's trying to raise $20,000 to buy all of this equipment for us to use. And so, you know, this is an active area that we're going in where another researcher researches and has had activity, and I think it's a good game plan.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it should be quite profitable. Well, not profitable is the wrong word to use, but like it sounds like y'all will definitely have something happen out there, because I mean those are some really good sounding tactics, and like those real expensive FLIRs, I'd be too scared to hold one because I'd be afraid I was going to drop it.
Yeah.
Man, you can't worry about that. I've dropped my TK Scout down a hole in a creek and had to swim in the creek at 4 a.m. trying to find it and didn't find it.
Oh, man.
It was great.
That just gives me anxiety. We went out with Michael Waldy, and he had his awesome rig that he's invented, and he put it on my head, and I'm walking around with it, and I think Dustin said, "Hey, how much is this whole all this gear together on her head? Like, how much is that?" And I think he said, what did he say, like $1,400 or something? Man,
something like that.
I swear to God, a Bigfoot could have walked up and I didn't care because I was too busy trying not to run into a tree or something and scratch this thing. I was terrified, and I think we were on the top of the ridge by that time. We had climbed straight up a ridge, and that's about the time I learned how much it was. And so we're trying to climb back down this ridge, and I remember telling Bigfoot Mary, I said, you know, if I fall and die, please use my life insurance to reimburse him for this gear, because like, I'm not even worried about my life at this point. It's like so expensive, but it was a pretty awesome product. So I think he's actually posted in Texas Bigfoot Rangers. I think he's actually posted all the gear description and everything, and pictures and video, and so I mean it's a really good gig, but God, I was terrified to have that much money on my head.
Yeah, I heard about that. The thing he made, and it sounds pretty cool.
Mhm.
That's what's really good about collaborating with other people. When you get outside your circle and see other people's mindsets and their thought processes and their talents, that's just a good thing to be able to learn from other people.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's good and bad. You're going to get out there and you're going to, you know, some people are going to research and it's just something that you would never do, and it gets on your nerves because it goes against how you research. But then they'll have a way that they do something else that you're just like, oh, man, I've never thought about that, or, oh, my God, that got so much response. And you just, you know, it's the good and the bad, and you just have to be open and not think that your way is the absolute best way ever, and you have to be open to trying new things and learning.
I guess that's one thing that gets on my nerves more than anybody else, that they think that they are the alpha male or their group is the alpha male and they can't learn nothing from anybody else. And, I mean, we have been out with someone that at one time was considered the Woo Queen. And I'm going to tell you, she was the best owl caller that I have ever heard. She could cut loose with owl calls, and whenever you're in the field and you're maybe trying to get a response from a booger, you don't want to do the actual owl call. You want to do what the mimic of what a booger would do for the owl call. And she just had it just down pat every time. And so that's, I mean, you can learn from anybody out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like each person, no matter what their reputation is or, you know, whatever, I feel like each person has something to offer.
I agree.
Dustin, you have any questions?
Yeah, I had one right on the tip of my tongue, but it as soon as I went to say it, it just went poof.
You poofed?
No, the idea.
We didn't have to talk about you poofing
it.
on air.
Oh, Lord.
Well, that never happens to me, so I wouldn't know what that's like.
Well, I just want to put in a plug for Larry. Larry's got a new YouTube channel, and it's called Beast of the Woods. And it's kind of like behind the scenes stuff that we do that's not evidence related that we do on the Sawdustt Beast channel. And it could be that or it could be him out fishing, but Larry is a funny guy. He's got a great sense of humor, and his videos are just, they're awesome. I think they are absolutely awesome. So if you,
is Larry funny? I hadn't noticed.
Larry is funny. He is funny.
Is he? I mean, I guess.
That's what, $20 I owe you now?
Yeah.
What did y'all bet on?
Oh, no, it's just really plugging my channel and talking about how funny I am, so I guess I owe him $20.
I know. Now I feel that. I'll have to update our link with that, with your, or our show with that link in it. Definitely. Y'all plug away. Y'all can plug Beast TV, of course, because it's, you know, really good. I enjoy y'all's show every week. Beast of the Woods. Go ahead and plug Sisters of the Moon, because Debbie might get mad at you if you don't.
Yeah, but they don't even have a channel or a Facebook page.
I bet you get onto them all the time for that.
Yep, and they say I don't want one. Every one of them. I don't want to mess with it. I want to go research. I don't want to be typing on a computer.
Well, don't they know that's what you're for?
I don't know. I got to do something, you know.
Yeah, no, but and then also, you know, real quick plug to Kanan and Eric, because they do put a lot of their stuff up, and they are out there plugging away and getting you guys out there plugging away with them, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was also going to say that if y'all wanted to plug the GoFundMe for the Florida outing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can go to Bigfoot Odyssey, and they've got a link on there for GoFundMe page.
Okay.
Awesome. So, besides that, what else do y'all have planned coming up? Y'all got any big things coming up?
Well, Larry's work schedule it's going to be tight the month of January.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to try to get together when we can. It may be just him having an off day, and we can meet up with Shelley and Dan and Vicky and go out and make some calls, and mainly to go eat at the buffet. And before we go out, and then we've got our little venture with you, Lauren.
Yep.
And so looking forward to that and seeing if we can get the EBGB scared out of us.
I'm down. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm hoping I can redeem myself a little bit. It's funny to me, like I'll go off into the dark, but man, and something big happens, I'm fine, but something little runs at me, man, I freak out. I can't help it. I don't freak out, but like I have that involuntary response, and it's so embarrassing. It's like something huge can run at me, and I'm fine, but a little bunny dillo runs at me, and it scares the crap out of me every time.
Well, you know what? That happened at ground zero. There's a big difference if you hear something coming through the woods. But if something is within just a matter of inches from you, and it's totally different. I mean, it's more of a reaction than anything.
It is. It is. It absolutely is. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having a lot go down. I'm looking forward to having a good encounter, good experience all around. Mostly, I'm really just looking forward to getting out there and hiking and getting out real primitive away from everybody. That's what I'm looking, and with a good group of people. I'm out there with you all, and man, I can't wait. I'm so stoked. Dustin, I've been talking Dustin's ear off about it for like a month now. Poor guy. He's probably so sick of hearing it, but man, I'm so excited.
Every time we've been there, we've had a lot of activity.
Yeah, from what I hear, I mean, because I listen to, so if y'all will go listen to B.E.A.S.T TV and listen to Spencer Jameson's show, they talk a lot about it on that one. And then Outlaw, they had a show right after y'all had the big outing there, and they talked about it there. They kind of went into detail about what happened. So if y'all go listen to those, I mean, I'm so excited. I hope we just about get run out of there. Well, not run out, but we can't really run anywhere. So, yeah.
They'll try.
Okay.
So,
no pressure.
Real quick, I had one of our listeners message me, and he wanted me to start asking everybody that we have on this question. And the question is, why do y'all research? Do you do it for yourself?
Good question.
Do you do it just to prove it to yourself, prove it to others, just in it for the experience? Why do you do it?
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm in it for the money. I mean, right? Y'all are all rich off this, right?
Yeah.
That's me?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No,
obviously.
I just do it for myself to answer the question I have. Is it for real or not for real? And so far, the needle's pointing for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do it for the experience. I'm not trying to prove it to anyone or to the world or be the guy that's going to wind up in the Smithsonian for some kind of piece of evidence. I do it for the experience and being out there. And and this is what I've got to say, that if it wasn't for Bigfoot, my life there would be a hole in my life that I wouldn't even know about because of the friends that I have made in pursuing this hobby. I wouldn't be talking to y'all right now, and I consider all of y'all to be my favorite people in this whole world. And I think about your mom, Lauren, and just how much whenever we get together and just, I'm kind of a sentimental guy, and I cherish, the times that I'm able to spend with people that I would have never met if it wasn't for Bigfoot. And for me, that's the icing on the cake.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've met lifelong friends in this, and people that, are closer to me than most of my family even, and I'm with you. I do it for the experience as well. That's why I don't take a lot of technology out in the woods with me at this point in my research. I just really, you got to think I was raised with my mom, who's had, umpteen sightings and encounters. She has 20 years of experience, so she's been out in the woods enough to have all that. And so being raised with that kind of legacy, it's like, well, I want to see it. I want to have that. I want to do it. And so I go out there and still haven't had a sighting and all that. I've had encounters, but not sightings and not stuff like that. And so I'm going to keep going until I do. And then I already know my kind of personality, adrenaline junkie, that's just going to make me want to do it more. So I'm out there to have that experience, same as you, Mark. Also, the friends and family that I've made doing this and all the knowledge that I've picked up. So amazing people I've met.
I agree.
Yep. Justin, why do you do it?
Well, I do it for myself, and since our last trip to Fouke, even though I haven't been able to get out since then, I've been chopping at the bit to get back out. But I'm ready for more. I've had the bug since we started, but since that Fouke trip, the bug has just gotten worse. And I just do it for myself. And plus also, like Mark said, all the great friends I've made, a lot of them are like family. And it's also, it's a good reason just to get out in the woods and go camping. Even if I go out and I have a weekend where we don't hear a single wood knock, vocalization, sighting, nothing, I'm still out in the woods camping, and it's one of the things I love. And it's all for myself.
Yeah, I call it camping with a plus.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, for me, getting out in nature is just, so I know, it's a bummer to go out in the woods researching and have nothing at all happen. But for me, like, getting out in nature, getting out and camping, that's my favorite part of the whole weekend. And if I get a Bigfoot, any kind of activity, that's a plus. That's just a bonus for me. I'm still going to be bummed we didn't get anything, but getting out there, that's just, I'm all right with that as well.
You're not going to see nothing sitting on the couch.
Nope.
No, you're not.
Yep.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, the one thing I hate worse about, or the one thing I hate about these trips is having to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although usually I smell so bad by the end of the trip, I'm ready. Yep. Well, Dustin, any other questions from the listeners?
Not from the listeners. I'm kind of tapped out tonight. I haven't been able to get into my groove.
Oh, hold on. Larry, someone wants to say hi to you real quick. He's been very patient.
Okay.
Hi, Larry.
All right. Hello, how are you?
Yes,
Steady Larry.
Who is that? Is that Uncle Larry?
Hey,
He has
Adam.
been so patient this whole show, and he wants to know when you guys are going to go find pine cones again.
Well, I hope so soon. He'll be able to karate chop some sticks into now instead of get pine cones
He
for the fire.
will. He will. He's pretty excited. He's been real patient the whole show, so I told him he could go ahead and say something. That's something that I've kind of changed on is I want my kids out in the woods and I want them to learn about the squatching and everything, but I've noticed that since I've been getting out more and more, I'm a little more hesitant to take my kids out with me. Like, in a campground, I'm fine with it, but like primitive camping, I don't know, I'm a little bit more hesitant about it. I want them to learn, but also want to keep them safe, and I feel like I have less control out in the woods in the primitive camping than I do at a campground,
I know what you're saying. I totally understand that, but do we really have control in a campground or a primitive
No, that's true. I mean, that's a good point. There's a lot of people who use substances that impair their judgment in the campground, but I guess you guys know how I am, getting them that far away from a medical institution because my kids are my kids, and they're Evel Knievel Part 1 and Part 2. So I don't know.
Hey,
I don't
it's
think
better
Larry
to be
was on
safe
that
than
camp
sorry.
It is.
No.
But anyway, all right, guys. Well, we are winding down. We really appreciate. There you go. Appreciate you guys coming on tonight and talking with us, telling us about your recent experiences, kind of updating us because we've had you on the show before, of course, but I kind of wanted to get an update about what y'all have been doing out in the field, out at LBL. Y'all have come not a long way, but y'all have done some different things since you were last on the show. So I just kind of really wanted to cover that and get an update on y'all, and we'll let Sisters of the Moon come on next week and outshine everybody. And they have all their
look like stooges.
Man, those girls get some good encounters. They are pretty great.
They do.
They are not scared to get out there. Not that y'all are, but the Bigfoot like the women. I'm just convinced. I'm convinced.
They do.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why y'all invited me, huh? I knew it.
we got to have bait. And you keep talking about
it.
putting peanut butter on and all that. So I don't know.
That was on you. You're supposed to put peanut butter on you. You keep messing that up. I don't understand what's so confusing about that, Larry Porch.
Okay.
Yeah, Larry Porch.
I'm surprised she's not trying to convince me to do it anymore.
I'm going to put it on you while you're asleep. I'm just going to dump it in your tent and leave the tent door open and see what kind of screams I hear throughout the night. It'll be fine.
Lauren, I think you got a peanut butter fetish. You might need to seek some help.
It's good for are you?
So,
protein.
All right. Before we go, speaking of peanut butter, I'm going to tell a quick little story about the first time Lauren and I have gone out. And it was at Hanobi, and it was after the festival, and everybody kind of wandered off to do their own thing. And it was me, her, and our friend Kendall. We were sitting there talking, and Kendall's like, hey, let's go over to Bison, our area, which is about 30 minutes away from Hanobi. So we jump in the truck, and she brought a box of Nutty Butter bars, and she'd put them in the back of the truck, and she was munching on one in the back seat while we're going down there. Well, on the way back, I'm trying to get into my console, like in the middle of the truck, to try to find something, and I didn't want to turn the lights on. And I'm like, what the hell is my hand in? And there was a half-eaten of one of those Nutty peanut butter bars in my console, just sitting there like, you know, her own personal little ballet tray.
Yeah, what'd you do with that? What'd you do with that Nutty bar, Dustin? Huh?
Oh, I ate it.
He did too. He said, what the hell is this? What do you think you're doing? Crunch, crunch, crunch. And I'm like, really? I was going to finish that. And he's like, no, too late. Ridiculous.
Finders keepers.
Yeah, I guess I see your point, but not really. I don't. Nope. It's just ridiculous. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on tonight, and who are you guys having on your show next week?
We have Rodney Beasley on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Oh, tomorrow.
And he is the guy that, yes, on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel. And and it's the man that came out with us last weekend. And so he is going to talk about his experiences of what it was like to go out Bigfoot for the very first time.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
I mean, I kind of always want to hear, you know, because when you're in it for however long, you forget. You know, you forget that first time or first getting into it, that fresh perspective, you know. So that's awesome.
Should be a great show.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just want to say before we go off the air, with this outing that you're putting together, Lauren, I've been out to Alex Smith Park a couple of times and researched out there, and that's such a great area, and it's such a great cause to want to improve that campground for other researchers that want to come in and experience the Fouke experience. And so I just really want to commend y'all for that. I know Keith Crabtree is kind of heading that too, and Keith's a great guy. We love Keith Crabtree. We love him.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
So,
he called me last Sunday, or this last Sunday, he called me, and he's like, you know, I've been kicking around this idea. He said, I want you to head this up. Let's do this. And I'm just like, what? He's like, yep. He's like, I want an event. He said, I want to promote the park. I want to get all the groups together. He's like, all right. And he literally said, I just shot a 3-point, balls in your court, dribble, baby girl. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah. And then he said, you know, I want the SBA boys on it. He said, he's like, let's do this. Let's make this a big thing. So I tagged in Dustin and Shane and got them working on their parts. And so together, and my mom, of course. So she had some great ideas, just, you know, fun events we could throw in there, different things. Dustin, of course, brought in the vendor piece because he does this amazing leather work. So he brought in the vendor piece with the raffle. Shane's all about the graphics and the advertising marketing. He's on it. So we have a great team here putting this together, and we've gotten really good response. Of course, Tanya Knight, you know, she's Keith's research partner, so she's going to bring in She Squatch, and she'll be there. Lyle Blackburn has thrown in his support. You know, he's a big fan, big supporter of Fouke, and so he wants to boost the park as well. So he'll be there. Jeff Crypto Hulk Stewart. So we're really excited to have a lot of great people who care about this place showing their support. So we're excited. We're still like 6-7 weeks out. So so far we have what was it at last count, over 200 people interested in coming, and I'm slowly losing my mind. I don't know what I've gotten myself into, but
well,
it's for Keith, you know, and it's a good cause.
Well, I tell you what, I make walking sticks, and I stain them where they have like a measuring tape on them so that you've always got where you can measure a print, and I'll donate one of my walking sticks for the raffle.
Thank you, Mark. That's awesome. Thank you.
Gosh,
that's great.
That's great. Anything.
You make people
you
laugh.
Can donate some, yeah, you can donate some food, Larry.
I don't donate food. I eat the food.
So do I. I don't make anything either, so I'm donating my time and my sanity a little bit. But I'm really excited. Hoping the weather holds so that more people can make it out to support the park. So we're planning, like we said, we're going to have a raffle. We're going to have a kids how to Bigfoot event, you know, show them tracks and casts if we have any there. We're going to bring SBA's bringing all their amazing casts, and then we're going to have a movie night. We're going to have campfire stories, and then we're going to do a couple teams go out and research different areas of Fouke. So it's going to be a really good time, first of its kind, but Keith would like to make this an annual thing. So we'll see where it goes from here. We're pretty excited.
That's fantastic.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. So thank you guys for your support, Mark. That's awesome. We really appreciate your donation, and wish us luck.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Blog Talk Radio lady's yelling at me, guys.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for
Okay.
having us on.
Thank you guys for thank you guys for coming on.
Thank y'all
and
for coming
we will
on.
We'll catch your show tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube, B.E.A.S.T TV. And we hope to have you guys back soon after y'all get some more experiences.
Thanks a lot for having us on.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.